Hi everyone, this is the summary of the virtual class we had today. It is the second virtual class and almost everyone were here, but probably someone could want to re-listen to the lesson because we dealt with some complex questions today. So here is our lesson. We had a task to finish for today, and the first question was about the comparison between planned economy and the market economy, and more precisely the merits and the limits of each one of these economic systems. And this is the result of our whiteboard. And so you can read that in the planned economy, the positive aspects are less, there are less inequalities in such an economy, and we work for a common good. This is a good idea. The abolition of private property and in general a lower unemployment level. But there are limits. Limits like huge regulation, less individual liberties, probably inefficiency because the lack of competition would bring a lack of innovation and probably a lack of production. This is why the market economy that you can see here, will bring exactly the opposite of the limits of the planned economy. Like you will have few taxes because you will privilege the private interests, while customers drive choices. This is a very good answer. Freedom to innovate, freedom to be whatever you want, few regulation as well. Individual freedom, it is at the center of that economic system. This is a utilitarianist system. That means that you will look for your own interest, and that will bring you more efficiency in your organization. There is a price to pay. There is always a price to pay, always in economics, because in that situation, you have it's not the limited product ranges, but in the opposite, it's an unlimited product ranges, because if there is a demand, there will be a supply, there will be a production. And market failures, dangers of profit motive, and I put here in red the main idea here about the ecological limits. You will have huge ecological limits here, and probably the present crisis is one of these aspects. And what is at stake today for our economic system in the context of the COVID epidemic? Here we discussed about very interesting ideas about, you can read the non-market economic as health structures try to manage the impact of the pandemic. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted you to understand, that here the question is about the ability of a market economy to deal with the health issues or social inequalities or poverty, and even the economic crisis that we will get in a few weeks now. Well, it has started already. You can see here, by remaining on a global vision of the crisis, financial pressure could be the same or even worse, yes, than in the financial crisis of 2008. Yeah, you're right. It's not okay to do so. And we will need more solidarity. We will have to find a balance between granting loans to allow company to resume their activities or restricting it. Sorry. Yes, this is exactly the issues we are speaking about. And this is a front page I found this morning on the World Economic Forum. Act fast and do whatever it takes. This is a good summary of our situation today. Governments, for the first time for a very, very long time now, for about 40 years, started to reconsider the interest of government intervention. This is the first time they did so since 40 years now, and well, here we just explained that we have the New York Stock Exchange. That means la bourse. Stock exchange means la bourse. New York Stock Exchange, and you see that the lines is decreasing in red. That means that something is going wrong on the New York Stock Exchange. So today we decided that we were done with that part, with the economic problem, and we just wanted to make some revision about the producing, about the fact to produce added value. These are just revision actually, because you studied it in French and it's just a way to study it in English here. So if you remember, you have the labor factor that could help you to transform raw materials, primary commodities that we call input in economics. Intermediate consumptions, in other words. Here you had the capital factor. So you remember tools, machines, factories, offices that help you to transform raw materials. To transform raw materials in an output. So imagine here you have flour, you have water, you have as well salt. Well, we don't care. And finally, thanks to these raw materials, you could transform them in an output. Oh, I have a problem today. And the output here could be, I don't know what, well, a kind of cake without any sugar, but we don't care. And the output will be used in consumption, okay? So this is the same drawings. Here you have the labor factor, here you have the capital factor. And thanks to this transformation, this productive combination, you will create an added value, okay? So here you had 11 euros of raw materials, and you have been able to sell your cake. You have been able to sell your cake at 20 euros. So you created an added value of 9 euros thanks to your workers, but you have to pay them 6 euros in salaries. And you have to pay, I forgot here the principal word, I guess, the loans, okay? And 3 euros meaning that you will have nothing in the rest, because 9 minus 9 means 0. Okay, so this is drawing to sum up the principal ideas. You create an added value in order to distribute it. Okay, here you have turnover, meaning chiffre d'affaires, and you have to pay your intermediate consumptions, which mean that the rest will be equal to the added value minus the salaries you will have to pay, equal to equal to the profit minus the capital factor you will have to pay, equal to final profit. Cash flow is a very important word, a key word in economics, because this is this cash flow that will allow you to finance your future investment. And this is another way to understand how we calculate GDP, because, well, GDP means the total amount of added values in all over the economy, in the global economy. So you understand that when you have a GDP of $5, you have included all the previous expenses you did about that final production. So when you take in account a price. I'm sorry, I have many problems today with my tools, with my device. When you have a GDP of $5, so meaning you have created an added value of $5 on your dish or on your meal, you included previously the cost of your device, of your machine, here the oven. You included the price of the different raw materials, and here the labor factor. And finally, you have the final sum, which is $5. And here we spend a few times to understand the timeline, and we understand here we have the line of the GDP since the time we were hunters and gatherers. And you understand that during a long time until here, until I don't know if it will work. Yeah, until here. Oops. We were not able to create many added values. And the main explanation here is that at one moment we became able to make more things faster. And that is called, this is a very important keyword, productivity. So this is productivity that has been made us able to produce more and more faster, and so to create more and more added values faster and faster. Okay, so here we have the mechanization, we have the industrial revolution, as you told me, new power, electrical power, for example, oil power, and we have different revolution here, and the oil revolution, and the organization of labor has been a decisive innovation as well to get more and more productivity. And so this was the final idea I wanted you to understand. We didn't spend much time to comment on that drawing, but I think it is important to make you think about that, because now we, in our capitalist system, when we want to be more and more and more innovative and more efficient, we tend to ask ourselves, and if we could calculate the value added of college, not especially producing cars or calculating productivity in agricultural activities, but even in a college, you know. And so you could think that here you have the input, you are the input, okay? You are the input, and we are the place we are supposed to organize productive combination, and you are supposed to be the output. So you come into the college or even the high school with lower skills, and thanks to our efficiency, you are supposed to go out of your high school or college with higher skills. So this will be the value added or added value. We can say both, okay? Added value, value added. And normally you should be able to get a higher salary thanks to your higher qualification, okay? So this is something very weird, but this is the way we use economics today. And we finished the lesson by listening to these guys, Colin and Colin, singing about GDP. I don't know if it will work.
Today we're going to learn about GDP, gross domestic product, you will see. GDP, add up these four factors and subtract what's overseas. Consumption comes from you and me. These are household items that we buy. GDP, all these goods and services are keeping us alive. Investing, spend.
So you will listen to the rest of the song if you please, if you want to do so. Actually, there is a link with the task I ask you to do for next week. You will have to find one song related to the GDP. Well, you go on YouTube, of course. Find one song related to the GDP or the economic systems or anything else related to what we studied. Of course, you'll listen to it, and don't forget to note somewhere the link of that song, because I would like to listen to it as well, and comment on it. Explain what is told in that song. Well, if it is question, if it is speaking about GDP, well, what do they explain in the song? Well, are they speaking about the limits or the way we calculate GDP or the economic systems, or well, maybe they are compared? Well, I don't know. You can do that alone or in pairs. Okay, so it's for next week. So that's it for today, folks. Bye. So on next week, we will have to study how markets work, and maybe how companies play a major role in the creation of added value. So bye-bye. Have a nice week. Bye.